Hey guys, hope you're good. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. Today we're doing analysis. So we're doing EURGBP, EURGBP, and then I'm just gonna pick 4 of those currency pairs and see the forecast for next week. It's already Friday. So we're in the Euro GDP. So that's euro and pounds. So we're just gonna look at what happened last week and then what's currently happening this week. So I'm using a 15 minutes time frame. I've unzoomed, so I don't see the need to zoom into charts, because I know people like using the candlestick pattern. I don't use candlestick pattern. I use your normal chart pattern, because I don't believe that 2 or 3 candlestick can determine a big move. So I look at how the price behaves and then I do my analysis. Okay, so looking at this euro and pounds, remember we had interest rate and then the euro dropped the interest rate. So looking at this for next week, you can just draw a line, so support here. So you're probably looking at euro breaking the support and going down, which now tells us that the effects of the interest rate is coming. So our target will probably be here, but we just want to monitor here and see if it's gonna break this support. But obviously anticipation is we are looking at it breaking support. If it continues, then that's fine. Probably might be that the pounds might have something next week, but based on the forecast next week in terms of the news, in terms of the fundamentals, there's nothing happening for pounds next week. So which means we are safe for next week. So we can just look at if we can get a breakout from here, then we can probably looking at the sells. Just see probably around the area and then probably keeping our TP right at the bottom. Probably might be looking at one is 1.8, one is 2.2. So you just see how it depends on how you do your risk to reward. So I'm not here to tell you how much risk you must put in. I'm just here to show you opportunities of trading for next week. Okay, cool. So we are done with EURGBP. We can just look at the other one. Let's look at which one is this. NZDJPY, that's New Zealand dollar, and Japan. This one I had already done. I was doing my analysis here. So looking at this, we had an interest rate last week for an New Zealand dollar, and then it went up. So now we're just gonna look at the price probably going to hit that resistance. It might not as well. Remember that nothing is guaranteed. You just say this, just like we need to always analyze. We always need to analyze this. We can probably look at this area as well of interest. It might not break that area. It might break this pattern. And obviously this is a bullish pattern. If you know Forex pattern, this is a bullish pattern. Sorry, this is a bearish pattern. Sorry. This is a bearish pattern, so we're looking at this pattern be broken and then from there hitting the target here. So here there are a couple of things that we're looking for. We're looking at the price breaking this pattern and going to the downside. But normally before breaking the pattern, I always suggest that get a third touch from the top. Get a third touch from this resistance, right? This is also resistance, guys. Doesn't mean that when it's a trend line, it's the resistance. This is a resistance as well, guys. This is a resistance. But get a third touch from the resistance. Where's my tool? Get a third touch from the resistance, then from there get a breakout, maybe I don't know, retest, and from there, you get what I'm saying. I like this kind of thing. I like confirmation. I like not just looking at one action, right? Or we probably might be looking at the price breaking here and then because what are we looking for? We are looking for a third touch and a break. You might even get a touch in a resistance and then break. You get what I'm saying? So we are trying to avoid fake outs. So for me here, this is most likely to be a fake out because we got 2 touches from the top. So I need a third touch at least here. You get what I'm saying? If you're not giving me a third touch, at least give me a touch or a resistance, a push from the main resistance. This is the swing line. Give me a touch from here, then at least I can say, okay, I'm gonna ignore my third touch, and then because now my target is here. You just broke here. You get what I'm saying? But now it breaks this pattern. For me, I'm not gonna trade. That's how I trade. So I don't wait for only one thing to happen. I look at a couple of scenarios, and then from there, yeah. And looking at this, you look at how it started. It went impulse, and then now it's building a pattern. So normally after an impulse, once you start building a pattern, then it's about to change, right? It's either gonna go down or go up. But looking at this pattern, this is a bearish pattern, which means like it's a downwards pattern. So yeah, I'm looking at the cells here. So maybe getting a breakout, looking at maybe the forecast, and then if things comes to, you know, the way we anticipated it, you know, putting your entry here, and then from your target, that's where you started. You know, a little bit of aggressive. If you don't want to be aggressive, you can probably look at, you know, around this area here. And then some people like to put their target where the what you call, where the pattern started, which is like most of the time, 80%, I think 80% of the time, once it breaks this, then it comes in, it will come here. So 80% of the time. So yeah, but obviously you also got to be mindful of your fake out. Just like I said, that you wait for a third touch. Do not be in a hurry to trade. When you see a breakout here, do not be in a hurry. Look at, you know, that's why you always need to have like sort of a trading play. Look at what the trade did. You know, look at how many touches. You get what I'm saying? Depends on how you do your stuff. If it needs to touch resistance, wait for it to touch resistance. If it needs to break out, wait for it to break out. Do not be in a rush. Do not be in a hurry. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the forecast for what you call for New Zealand dollar and Japan yen. And then we're gonna look at the EURUSD. EURUSD. Remember, if you also studied pattern, this is that pattern. This is like one of those patterns that, you know, we wait for a breakout. This is not a normal bullish or bearish pattern. This can be a continuation pattern. This can be a new pattern to change the direction to the downside. So it can be anything. Anything can happen. You just have to look at which way is this going to break. You know, is it gonna break to the downside or is it gonna break to the upside? But obviously, looking at analysis that we've done for euro, we are looking at, you know, euro dropping because of, remember what happened to the interest rate, right? So you're looking at euro, probably our thinking here will be, okay, give me a breakout of this thing, right? Not just in this pattern, give me a breakout of this. Then from there I can probably, you know, I can try to look at you know, TP around this area. Sorry, I think I've chosen the wrong way. Yes, I can probably get TP. I always go for swings. I swing, guys, unfortunately, so I don't do the small TP, you know. So give me around this area, right? Give me around this area, you know. Give me around this area, you know. This is like what? This is 1 to 2 risk to reward. Yeah, that's 1 to 2 risk to reward. You get what I'm saying? So, and just like I said, it depends on how I am more aggressive most of the time. So, but if you're not aggressive, you can probably look at, you know, this place. So I know it's gonna resist. It's gonna hold a bit here, but you know, I know it's part of you know what needs to happen. It will hold, and eventually it will break. You get what I'm saying? So, but this is like very, very small. This is for those who just want, you know, just wanna be in and out the scalp pass and all that. So, but my target will probably be here, depending on what happens. But if it breaks up and it goes up, continues, I'm leaving it. I'm not doing anything with it. Let's look at the EURNZD. Same thing happened. You know, there was interest rate, it dropped. NZD, remember, it had power, but unfortunately now we've got a bit of difficulty here because of, remember, New Zealand dollar last week there was interest rate and then it pushed up, right? That's why that made euro drop. Euro dropped last week. We are expecting a continuation to the downside, but remember that now New Zealand dollar now is running out of momentum. The interest rate thing here now is done. It has built this pattern, right? So does it mean that when euro was weaker last week, which means it will continue to be weaker? So sometimes it might be weaker, but other currencies might be more weaker than euro. So in this kind of pattern here, we're looking at a bullish pattern, right? So EURNZD pushed up, and then once it started running out of momentum, started building a pattern. This is a continuation pattern, guys, and this is a bullish pattern, right? As you can look at here, that's where the impulse started. Impulse started here, it pushed up, and then started building a pattern, So now, when it comes to this impulse, now it started breaking the pattern. This is breaking the pattern for the first time. And look at what it did. First touch, second touch, third touch. I've got my confirmation here, right? So now we are breaking out. But since we are breaking out, does it mean that we are fully broken out? This is nothing, guys. We need a confidence breakout, right? So what I'll normally do is I'll put a resistance here and see if it breaks that resistance. If it breaks here, then that's my confirmation. I'm entering. I'm going for the bulls. I'm buying here. You get what I'm saying? I'm going for the bulls. I'm going way started. You get what I'm saying? I'm going way started. So then from them looking at like this is big target. This is like a bit of big target. We are looking at what probably 1 to 4 is through what. You get what I'm saying? Depending on how you put your stop losses. But I don't like bigger stop losses as well. I also like to wait for my targets. I also like big profits. You get what I'm saying? Just like next week is very clean. This week I wasn't trading. Reason why there's interest rates. Every time when there's an interest rate, I don't trade because anything can happen. You get what I'm saying? So this fundamentals, they really drive this chart. I don't know, like they really drive this Forex. Very crazy that your pattern, you'll have a good setup and then all of a sudden it doesn't make sense. You get what I'm saying? That's why I always avoid interest rates. But looking at this, I'm more confident that it's gonna break here and then it's gonna push up. But I don't want to be early because now, unfortunately, my setup says I need to wait for it to break. It looks, I don't know, like it looks delicious. It looks like you want to enter now, but unfortunately, my setup says no. I need to wait, so I'm gonna wait. So I'm looking at probably this is like 1 o'clock. I might enter late. This thing of do not trade on a Friday, it doesn't work. If a setup happens in Friday night or midday, you trade because that's a setup. You don't trade based on a day. You get what I'm saying? So I'm gonna wait for it. I'm gonna come back probably after 3-4 hours and see what's happening. If it's not here, it's not here, guys. I'm not trading. But once it touches here, I'm going in. And another thing that I look at, there's a little bit of gap here. You see, if you can look at, let's study this chart going down, right? Look at it, went down, and then this became a resistance. It did not break this resistance. Went down again. What happened? This is supposed to be a resistance, right? Let me remove the screen so I don't confuse you. I'm gonna show you all the resistance that I'm talking about, right? This is the resistance that I'm talking about. It went down, right? And then this support became a resistance. It failed to break and it went down. Here's your support. Broke down the support instead of from this resistance continuing to go to the downside. Look at what it did. It broke. You get what I'm saying? So now you're starting to open your eyes and be like, oh, okay. Now you're breaking what? You're breaking your trend line, which is your resistance, which is your trend line. You can call it a trend line so that you don't get confused, but this is still a resistance. You get what I'm saying? So now we are looking at breaking that last resistance. This is the strongest resistance because like you've got a support as well and you have a resistance. That's a support and resistance. If you break this, then I'm confident that we are going to the top. So yes, that's it from my side, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this channel. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're still new, and then please leave your comment below. I will be posting videos every week. So thank you, guys.